I'm Ray, or Ms. Ray as I'm called in the classroom. As a preschool teacher for over 25 years, I find early childhood to be one of the most amazing times in a child's life. There's so much growth and development that happens in the first 5 years. Did you know that 90% of a child's brain growth happens before they go to kindergarten? I get asked all the time what people can do to help support this amazing growth and development. The answer I give them often surprises people. I tell them, talk with young children, babies too, but not all talk is created equal. When talking with young children, including infants and toddlers, the serve and return interaction model is most helpful in providing quality verbal interactions between children and adults. Today we'll be discussing what the serve and return model is, how it works, and why it's critical for a young child's brain development. What is meant by the term serve and return? Serve and return is the back and forth communication, both verbal and nonverbal, between children and responsive adults. The Center on the Developing Child at Harvard has broken the serve and return interaction into 5 steps. Step 1. Share the focus. This means the adult joins the child's interest by paying attention to what the child is noticing. The child may communicate with the adult by pointing, using words or vocalizations, or moving their body in the direction of the interest. Step 2. Support and encourage. The adult returns the child's serve by supporting or encouraging the child in their interest. The adult may use a facial expression like a smile, help the child bring an object of interest closer for examination, offer help or assistance, or use language that conveys support or encouragement to the child. Step 3. Name it. The adult gives the object or situation a name or supporting language. This helps the children build understanding of the world around them. Step 4. Take turns back and forth. The adult and child take turns back and forth using language or vocalizations, movements, or expressions. The adult needs to be sure that when they return the child's serve, time is given for the child to respond back. Sometimes the child may need extra time, and so the adult must wait for the child a bit longer. Step 5. Notice beginnings and endings. The adult needs to notice when the child has lost interest in the current interaction and moved on to a new interest. The adult needs to remember, if you are sharing a child's focus, remember that's step 1, then you will notice when the child's focus has changed. The adult supports the child's exploration and independence by letting the child take the lead in the interaction. As you can see, the child's new focus brings the serve and return interaction back to step 1, where the adult must once again share in the child's new focus. Let's hear a story about 4-year-old Fanny and her father to help see the serve and return interaction as it unfolds. Fanny's father has just finished reading one of Fanny's favorite storybooks. Fanny looks at her father and says, "Let's make a castle, Daddy." Her father, noticing her new focus, says, "You want to build a castle, Fanny? What do you want to build the castle with?" Step 1. Share the focus. Fanny looks around the room and picks up a Kleenex box on the floor. Her father, wanting to encourage Fanny, says, "Fanny, that's a great idea. I bet you can make a big castle with all those boxes." Step 2. Support and encourage. Fanny smiles and begins to build using the tissue boxes. Wanting to support the interaction, Fanny's father asks, "Will your castle have a balcony like in the story, or will it be different?" Step 3. Name it. Fanny looks at the boxes and says, "No balcony, but it will have a giant pool so the mermaids can go swimming." Wanting to continue their back and forth conversation, Fanny's father asks, "Do the mermaids live in the castle?" Fanny laughs and says, "No, Daddy, mermaids live in water. The princess lives in the castle." Her father says, "I see. So the castle's for the princesses and the pool is for the mermaids." Fanny laughs again. "Daddy, the princess can swim in the pool too." Step 4. Take turns back and forth. Then Fanny says, "We need a princess for the castle." She walks over and takes a doll out of her play chest. She also takes a small comb and begins to comb the doll's hair. Her father walks over and asks, "Are you combing the princess's hair?" Fanny says, "She is going to a party." Her father sits down and asks, "What kind of party is she going to?" Step 5. Notice beginnings and endings. As you can see, Fanny's father noticed when her focus had changed from building a castle to getting the princess ready for a party. Instead of trying to bring Fanny's play back to the castle, he follows her lead and supports her new exploration. So, when can adults use the serve and return model? Basically, anytime you are able to be present with a child and share their focus. Some good opportunities for this are during meals, when you're outside exploring, during errands or outings to the grocery store, and when a child is engaged in play. Finally, why is serve and return critical for a young child's brain development? First, serve and return interactions develop strong brain architecture by helping shape brain circuits. When a child shows interest in something new, that's the serve, and an adult responds in a supportive and meaningful way, that's the return, new neural connections form in the child's brain. These connections are what help shape the brain of the developing child. Second, these types of interactions also help form neural connections between different areas of the brain. That is what develops the foundations in the brain for all the learning and behavior that follows as the child grows. Simply put, the interactions we have with infants and young children determine how the brain develops, and this has a direct effect on a child's future ability to learn as they grow older. What are some of the direct effects on a child's future ability to learn? Serve and return interactions, or child-centered interactions, have an effect on the development of a child's vocabulary and speed at which it is acquired. The development of planning, monitoring, and managing information, which are more formally known as executive functioning skills. The development of emotional resilience and social competence, and also the development of thinking and reasoning skills. As you can see, child-centered interactions such as serve and response have an overwhelming effect on a child's development. And that's what makes serve and return interactions so powerful. Thanks for joining me today. If you have any comments, questions, or wonderings, please write them in the comments section. And if you know a friend or colleague that may appreciate these discussions, please like, subscribe, and pass the link on in this video. Until next time, remember, it's always a good day to play.